I'm working on my chi, right? I went to hair and makeup. It took too long. All right, Hubert Centers. Let's talk about him for a second. We're taking up some of his time, so I'm about to pass the mic to him. I met Hubert probably in 2003 at a trade show in Las Vegas, and we became instant friends. And it's because he and I have this, I just like to call him my brother from another mother. And I know that is used a lot, but this is the truth. He is like the male version of me. He and his wife are great friends of mine. We vacation together. He's, I mean, I beg to say, probably one of my best friends. He is an amazing human being. He's here to help you. He gives more than he takes. That is one thing I can say about Hubert, and he will do that today for you in this presentation. He hails from Versailles, Kentucky, which I have been to his, we call it Bat Cave, the cave. I've been there a bazillion times. They even built me a bedroom and called it the Bama room because roll tide. So today Hubert's going to be talking about how to find new trend trades. If you've never heard Hubert speak before, you are in for a treat. And if you have, well, good for you, because the more the merrier. That's how I feel about Hubert. So I guess we can go ahead and pass the ball to him if there's nothing else, Raleigh.
Yep, there you go, Hubert. It's all ready for you, buddy.
And here we go, the first test, right? Is it going to work? Everybody's holding their breath.
Oh, no porn on this machine. So
Somebody call HR. Somebody call HR.
I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, Mike Shears, you have 1 hour. Well, actually,
I have 1 hour.
You can keep us on. If you want to keep us on time, you can crap it out in about 43. That'd be great.
45 minutes?
There you go.
Yep, 45 minutes would be great, Hubert.
Okay, I'm going to put my timer at 40. So I will hear a weird ass dinging, folks, at 40, which means I got to stop because I'll do anything here. All right, so I'm going to try to go fast. Thanks for the introduction. I appreciate it, guys. Hey, welcome to the webinar. I'm going to walk you through a technique that I think can shave off 3 to 5 years off of your educational journey, right? Heads up, trading is hard. It is not for everyone. It is risky by nature. I'm going to walk you through how to find better trades, better trend trades in both up and down markets. Before I do that, I've got to disclaim the shit out of this thing to make sure everybody's covered legally. Trading is dangerous. It's speculative. This is the best guarantee I can give you. There are no guarantees in life, and there are damn sure no guarantees in trading whatsoever. That's the best disclaimer I can give you. Like, it's all risky, folks. Make sure that you do read these important disclaimers that I have on the screen right now. And then CFTC Rule 4.41. I used to be registered. I'm no longer registered. I got tired of having to jump through all the hoops and stuff, and I only manage my own money. I only manage my own money right now, so I don't have to be registered, really. So, I'm going to walk you through some hypothetical situations. So the first part of my talk today is going to be all hypothetical bullshit, right? It's all theory. And then on the second half, we're going to actually dig in here and see how all this shit works actually in real life. All right, cool. So if you have questions, write them down, and then I'll try to do the Q&A at the end of the session. It usually tends to go better since I've got about 40 minutes to hit this thing. I'm going to try to go as fast as I can. I'm going to talk fast. They're recording everything. If you have a question, write it down, and then at the end of the webinar presentation, I will answer as many as I can. All right, so let's get through this. All right, my name's Hubert Centers. I have a no BS approach to trading and investing. I don't think any of you all really care about who I am or what I do, really, so I'm going to skip all this. All right, I used to not have money, and then I had money, and then I lost it, and then I got it all back. Life is easier if you have more money. Congratulations. You're in the right place at the right time, and here's why. If you are into trading, this system / tactic / strategy, I think it can take your trading to the next level. What it's really good for, if you're a beginner or intermediate trader and you're trying to take your trading to the next level, like if you're not really, really super profitable, this is going to shave 3 to 5 years off of your trading journey to figure out how a lot of this stuff works. Okay. So really quickly, do you guys, I'm going to ask some questions. So give me some feedback either in the chat or in the Q&A. Are you guys more into technicals or fundamentals? Now, you can be both. If you want to put both, put both. I'm more of a technician than I am a fundamentalist, okay? So if you're a fundamentalist, I'm probably going to drive you crazy this morning, all right? If you're a technician, you're like, oh, great, this is the type of stuff I'm into, all right? So cool. All right. So let's get started. So what does this work on? Everybody on these webinars, we all have our own strategies and our own tactic. The most important thing is pick 1 or 2 people that you kind of like their stylistic approach and learn as much as you can from them, all right? Because we all have different approaches. So what does this work on? This works on stocks, options, futures, forex, bonds, gold, a bunch of commodities. It also works on cryptos. Here are the back testing stats for this thing. Now, also, I walked through like what it works on, but what time frames does it work on? This works good for day trading, swing trading, and investing. Now, when we're talking about day trading, heads up, it's going to give you a lot of false positives, just like anything. If you talk about a 1 minute chart on a day trading time frame, there's just so many signals. You just have to be really effective at weeding out the ones that don't make a whole lot of sense. All right, but it does work on smaller time frames too. Skip that slide. All right, these are the S&P 500 stats. So when I look at a strategy, I always pay a back tester or a programmer to confirm what I'm thinking. So this is how this one came out. In the S&P 500, the results on the last 5 years when we test this thing, it worked on 430 stocks out of 500. That means it had a hit rate of 86%. It does not mean it worked properly. Every signal was 86%. It just means on the S&P 500, it worked on 430 out of 500. So the hit rate was about 86%. That's pretty solid, right? Now, if you took every signal, every long, every short, every long, every short, your return would have been 33%. That's not bad. Now, if you just use a little bit of common sense, you can increase it from 33 to 79% if you remove the counter trend signals and use either a 3-bar confirmation or a 3-day confirmation. And it's just a fancy way of saying if you've got a massive uptrend like you do right now, for the love of God, don't short the stuff. Go long the stuff. Wait until the trend line is broken right here, and then you can start shorting things, okay? And then on the currencies, it was profitable on 29 currencies over the last 10 years. You did have to use a multi-time frame analysis of a daily, an hourly, and a 10-minute in order to make that work, but it was profitable on 29 currencies over the past 10 years. All right, this is the most important slide in the bunch. So everybody give me a yes if you see time frame selection slide, because I don't see what you guys see. I only see what I see. We'll make sure that I am on. All right, cool. All right. So we've got the time horizon here. Okay, time horizon. We've got the chart time frame that we're looking at, and then how far the cloud extends to the right. So if I'm looking at a daily chart right here, I know that my time horizon for this trade is probably going to be weeks. So let's just say 2 weeks. The cloud is going to extend to the right 1 month, which is usually 20 trading days. Okay. If I'm looking at an hourly chart, my time horizon for the hold period of that chart is going to be days. So it could be 2 days. It could be 21 days. It's going to extend to the right 3 days. If I'm looking at a 10-minute chart, my time horizon is hours, and in this case, anywhere from 3 to 4 to 5 hours. Does that make sense? I know it might be confusing to some of you if you've never seen this. You can obviously go down in time, or you can also go up in time. If you're looking at a weekly chart, you're going to hold it for months. If you're looking at a monthly chart, you're going to hold it for years. If you're looking at 3 months, you're going to hold it for a lot of years. All right. Very, very important on what time frame you are looking at to let you know, all right, I'm making a decision. How long am I going to hold this? Now, you can get stopped out, and that's part of trading, right? So this is what you want. It was the #1 technique used in Japan 7 years. It was a best-selling technical analysis book. You'll know exactly what's happening in seconds. It's designed to give you crystal clear signals. I don't know if you've ever tried to translate something from Japanese to English to redneck. It can get confusing and complicated and very expensive if you don't know what you're doing. So this is the edge for you now when we're talking about taking advantage of the ability and staying in the present moment. The cool thing about this indicator is we've all had indicators that showed us what happened in the past. Those are kind of worthless. Some of you may have indicators that are telling you like what's going on right now in the present, but very few indicators will give you a future predictive algorithm saying, hey, here's what might happen in the future. So the ones that'll do this would be like Fibonacci's, Elliott Wave, or Ichimoku cloud. I'm going to talk about the cloud today. Now, this indicator should be on everyone's platform. If you've got a decent platform, which you should, if you don't, you need to get a better one. Do you see a black chart with like a blue snake in it with a price action on top of it? This is the theory part. And then after we hit the theory, guys, we'll get right into like scanning charts and stuff and doing this stuff for real. All right. So here's the main theory of this. So this blue thing, this is how I teach and this is how I learn. So we're all going to act like we're third grade kids on a Zoom call. This blue thing is called the cloud. So everybody type in CLOUD into the chat box to make sure that you're paying attention. That's the first thing you need to learn, the cloud. If the thing that you're trading, the price action is above the blue thingy, then you want to try to get long and stay long as you possibly can. That's the first theory. If the price action is below the blue thingy, that means it's below the cloud. You should short that stuff, right? Here's another theory. The cloud is going to act like a nice little fluffy cloud or a mini trampoline, or it won't hold. Nice fluffy cloud, mini trampoline, mini trampoline, mini trampoline. So we got the cloud, we've got the theory above or below the cloud, and we got the theory of real-time support. Okay. Now, here's the second line you need to know. So we're going to do this again. So we got cloud, C-L-O-U-D, cloud. The second thing you need to understand is this is called a turning line. Now, there are Japanese names for this. I will butcher that. I'm dyslexic, and it will make me sound dumber than I actually am, so I just convert them to the English words. So everybody type in turn, T-U-R-N, for turning line. This is going to be considered the fast line, okay? It is a 9-period midpoint average. It's not a 9-point moving average. It's a 9-point midpoint average. If it breaks the yellow, like if you've got a massive uptrend above the cloud, a lot of times it can come pull to the yellow and then bounce back off of it. I tend to not do that one much. It's a little quick for my taste. So I will do this next trade setup where we've got the cloud, C-L-O-U-D. We then have the turning line. And then the third thing is STD. So everybody type in STD for standard line. It's just shorthand for standard line, STD. That's amazing. I've never seen that many people have STDs in one room. That's amazing. All right. So if we break the turning line, it's probably going to go to the standard line and bounce off there. Okay. If we break the turning line, it'll probably go to the standard line and then we can bounce back off there. I like doing that trade. Now, if they don't hold, they'll go to either the top of the cloud or the bottom of the cloud. But those are all buy areas that I can play with. Okay. All right. And last but not least is the lagging line. So we've got cloud, C-L-O-U-D. We have the turning line, we have the standard line, and we have the lagging line, L-A-G, all right? Here's why this is so powerful. This is what's telling you happened in the past. This is what's happening now, also known as the present, and this is telling you what's probably going to happen in the future. If this does not hold, if it holds, it's going to go up. If it doesn't, it's going to go to here and then hold there. If that doesn't hold, it'll go to here, or here and bounce there and there. If neither one of those hold and it closes 1, 2, 3 days below the cloud, heads up, it's time to get out of your longs and it's time to go short those things. That's the main theory of this thing. Now, there are several different ways that you can use this. Now, since I'm running a little bit low on time, I'm going to skip some of this, okay? It's not that big of a deal. This is how it's calculated. It's the same look, different chart, right? So major uptrend, major downtrend. The main thing that you want to focus on, I'm not going to walk through how these lines are calculated. The software will do it for you, okay? But what you're looking for here is you've got all these lines. The signal that you're going to want to focus mainly on at first is this one right here, all right? Which is Ichimoku cloud charting signals. The lagging line crossing the cloud is the strongest signal you can take. It's also the slowest, okay? So the one we're going to focus on today is the Goldilocks trade, which is the price line crossing the cloud, okay, either up or down. There are also price and lagging line touching the cloud spans crossing, the turning lines crossing the standard line. So here's what that looks like. So the lagging line crossing the cloud happens right here. Now that thing's about 26 days delayed, so you would get short there. And then you'd have to wait for this thing to go back up here, which then price action would be probably about right in here. So you would have shorted at about 590 and covered at about 540. That's okay, but you can do better by just using the Goldilocks trade where you have 1, 2, or 3. 1 day below the cloud is aggressive. 2 would be moderate, and 3 would be conservative, in my opinion. You may have a different opinion. So you got 3 bars below the cloud, and then 1, 2, 3 bars above the cloud. So you would have shorted this thing at 620, and you'd got out at 480. Therefore, 4 timesing the amount of potential money that you would have made on this trade. Now, I am not here to blow smoke up your rear end. I did not say we are going to short here and cover and or go long there. That stuff is damn near impossible. I've been trading for 25 plus years. I've done it maybe 4 to 6 times in my life, and it's all just random luck, right? So don't try to buy bottoms and tops and stuff like that. It's almost impossible. I'm not saying it is impossible. It's just really hard. So when we're looking at this, these are the signals that we are looking for. Bullish signals. Price above the cloud is bullish. Price and the clouds are bullish if they come from the bullish side. The lagging line crossing the cloud is the main signal of trend change. Price crossing the cloud is an earlier but less reliable warning of trend change. Price and the lagging line will often find support at the cloud's edges. The cloud spans crossing may be a sign that the trend is changing. Be on the lookout for thick clouds after a run-up, which could mean the trend is about to reverse on you. That's the bullish signals. Here are the bearish signals. Read those real quick. After you're done, just give me a D for done to let me know that you're done reading the bearish signals. I'm going to grab a quick drink of water here, and then we're going to start scanning the markets. I've got about 25 more minutes. I'm going to walk you through this main concept. We're going to find above the cloud, below the cloud. We're going to go through all the futures, and then we're going to scan everything in the S&P 500, and then I'm going to answer your questions, and then I'll look at your symbols after we get done, okay? But I like doing a lot of Q&A because I want to teach you one thing, and I'm going to teach you how to do one thing really, really well, and then we'll move on. All right, we're done with this. Now, a couple little caveats. When you do get some training on this stuff, and I'll give you the opportunity to, at the end of the webinar if you want to do that. I think we've got some seats available. Time frame selection is important. My favorites are daily, hourly, and 10-minute. For the sake of keeping this presentation relatively short, I'm going to be looking at a daily time frame. It's just easier, and it keeps it simple, all right? And then you're going to want to use stops. Does anybody in here suffer from premature profit taking where you jump out too early or hold on to things too long? If you do, I would recommend getting some help with a free indicator called the parabolic SAR that will cure that ailment that you have right there. All right, let's discard this and let's go over here. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through what I do with my members and with people that take Cloud Charting Secrets course, all right? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the S&P 500. All right, you know enough to be dangerous right now. Are we in an uptrend or a downtrend in the S&P 500? So just answer in the chat box. So this is how you learn the interactive stuff. If you don't interact and you're on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, you're not going to learn. So yeah, we're in a solid up. So your job here is to buy pullbacks and breakouts on the S&P 500, right? Now, when you're looking at index futures, you want to grade them like which one's the strongest one. Is the S&P the strongest or is it the NASDAQ? I mean, that's a pretty simple answer right there, right? If you're not in the NASDAQ right now, what are you doing, right? So yeah, the NASDAQ, the QQQs. So do you see how simple that is? Now, you may be saying to yourself like, yeah, this is all hindsight bullshit. No, it's not. Check this out. This told you in the midst of the COVID stuff to get short on COVID here, okay? And then you would have covered back down here when it closed above the purple. So you made a little bit of profit from here to there. And then notice 1, 2, 3 days above the cloud, and then look at the move that you've had since then. And then you could pull back, buy to the purple, buy to the purple, buy to the purple. All right? That's the NASDAQ. What's the Russell look like? Russell looks okay. It's not as good as the NASDAQ. So if you held a gun to my head, I would say I'd rather be long the NASDAQ. It makes more sense. What about the Dow? The Dow is, I would rank them like this. I would say NASDAQ first, S&P second, YM third, and Russell fourth. That's how I would rank those things, okay? Now, let's look at the Euro Stoxx 50. Euro Stoxx 50 is in the cloud. When it's in the cloud, you leave it alone. You're not allowed to trade, all right? What about the DAX? The DAX is slightly above the cloud. It could be a potential buy, but the ADX is a little low, so I would kind of, there's better indexes to trade than that thing right now, so I'd just say, leave it alone. All right, now I trade a lot of interest rates products like the Bund. It's in the cloud, leave it alone. Like the 10-year, it's in the cloud, leave it alone. The 30-year bond, it's in the cloud, leave it alone. It's about to fire off a short, though, so I'll be shorting that thing in the near future. Let's take a look at gold. Gold, is it a buy, a sell, or a hold? In this situation, for me, gold has been a long, and gold has been trending lately. So gold is going up. Today it's down 40 cents, 20 cents, 10 cents. It's jumping a little bit all over the place right now, but it's a better long than it is a short right now. And then we can look at copper. What's copper? Copper is a good long. Platinum, decent long. I would focus mainly on gold, copper, or silver. Platinum's a little bit more sideways. Let's take a look at the energy market. Crude oil, even though it is above the cloud, it's sideways in nature. I would leave that alone. Natty gas is an uptrend, probably goes to 280. All right. And then let's take a look at the meat markets. We're going to look at feeder cattle. So it was a long as of yesterday. Okay. Live cattle is going to work its way down to the cloud, and then I can buy it there. All right. Lean hogs, good long, next target 60. And then we're going to get into the grain markets. Let's take a look at rough rice. So rough rice is in the cloud. It's been sideways for a while. I'd leave that alone. Oats, not doing much. It is below the cloud, but it's not doing much. Bean oil, it's a good long, pull back to the turning or the standard line. Corn, nice little fresh long here, 3 to 5 days above the cloud, probably goes to 380 or 368. Soybeans, good long. We had our members long 1, 2, 3 back here at 896. Hopefully they're still holding. Soybean meal, also a good long. And then wheat, a good long. All right. Now, if you're sitting there going, man, I don't know how to trade grain futures. Fine, just do this. DBA is an ETF that you can trade off of that. That's still a good clear signal. You can also do CORN for corn. You can do that. That's a couple different ways that you can trade ag futures with ETFs. All right. Softs, OJ, that's a short with a target of 110. Cocoa, that's a long with a target of 2,800. Cotton, that's a long with a target of 70. Coffee, that's a long with a target of 135. And then sugar is it's a decent long, but it's between the yellow and the purple. So it's either got to go above the yellow or below the purple in order to play. All right. Now, watch how easy this is to scan for anything above or below the cloud on the S&P 500. I can just go like this. I can go 1, 2, 1, 2. New below the cloud. So now I've got all these things, new below, new below, new below, new below, and then new above. So we're going to go through those quick because these trades can be good for you today or tomorrow. So ABBV, fresh short, looks pretty good. Will probably drop to 90. Baxter International, good short, probably goes to 80. All right. D, that one's good, probably goes to 70. ETR, I would leave that one alone. That's sideways. So what I do is I go through and I try to find my favorites of these bunch that I like. Now we're looking at new above. So we got ALGN, new above. BEN, new above. So the best one right now would be ALGN on that one. BK, that one's sideways. The ADX is a little low. I would leave that one alone. And then you got C here. Sideways, ADX is a little low. GD, ADX is a little low. And I go through all this stuff in the course. And that's kind of how you walk through this. Now we look. ALXN was a fresh buy yesterday. Let's take a look at some other stuff. AAPL. Apple, you could have been long back here at, well, it's pre-split now because it's split. You wouldn't have been long at 70. This is split adjusted, right? So you could be long Apple from much, much earlier. Okay. Let's go Tesla, TSLA, also a split one, right? So Tesla, let's go TSLA. Helps if you can spell. This one's also adjusted for the split, but back in here, you could have been long around mid-April and still riding the wave, all right? AMZN, Amazon. This one does not have a split, but you could have been long Amazon at 2,000. It's at 3,400, all right? So does everybody understand the main concept that we're looking for here? Above the cloud is a long, below the cloud is a short, and you're just going to scan for that every single day. And then what you do is you build yourself a list of long things that you like, and then a list of short things that you like. And then you just update them and go, okay, these are my swing longs. These are my continuous longs. These are swing longs, all right? And then I'll update my new longs and say, hey, corn as of last Tuesday was a good long. Wheat as of last Tuesday was a good long. You know, and then you just go through ADI, Amgen, and you just try to find the best longs and shorts that you can based upon what's available in the market and in this volatility. All right. So it's a pretty simple concept. So I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint and I'm going to show you how you can learn how to do this better. And then I'm going to spend the rest of the time taking all your questions and looking at your stocks. Now, there are a couple disclaimers here. So let me get this out of the way. So the trade setups, we looked at some live charts, and I will look at some currency pairs too if you want me to. These are some success stories. The course was awesome. I've taken a bond trade. I've made $900. Do you think I'm happy? I just entered the bond trade. Shorted again where I took profits earlier today after you made me greedy for further possible drops. So first time I've had a successful trade during a course. I have the hardest head in the world. I couldn't be happier. So that's from Mary. Here's a testimonial from Ron. So my question to you is will you be one of our future success stories? We're inviting you to join us. So here's the deal. Now, who is this for? Who is this not for? This is not for holy grail seekers that suffer from hopium, and that are guru surfers and that can't make a decision. And if you like to make things more complicated for no good reason, you and I probably won't get along at all. Okay. I like to make things really simple and down to the essence of what things are effective and then efficient. All right. I'm function over form. All right. Now, who is this for? Now, when I say this, a holy grail seeker is somebody that's got a $3,000 account and thinks they're going to run it to a 1.5 million by the end of December. That's unrealistic expectation on your trading ability, my ability as your teacher to try to teach you how to do that, and your skill level in the market. Like those two things are not going to line up where you're going to turn 3,000 into a million by the end of January. I'm sorry, it's probably just not going to happen. All right. Now, who is this for? If you're serious about making money in the real markets, if you can follow a simple set of rules and directions, if you know that your success is tied for you to take action, then you may like this course. So here's a fraction of what you'll learn in the #1 best-selling Ichimoku course on the market. 7 of my favorite setups with trading rules and indicator settings, with checklists and cheat sheets, with entries and exits. Every trade has a stop loss and a target. I teach you how to scan the markets with Ichimoku, how to filter out the best trades. You'll never guess what to do next. This is either going, hell yes, this is a great looking long, or hell yes, this is a great looking short, or it's going to be a pass, okay? I'm also going to show you how to avoid the dreaded head fakes and how to stay away from the markets that you shouldn't be trading right now. All right, so here is the details. The Ichimoku Cloud Charting course sells for $497. I'm going to throw in 1, 2, 3, 4 live webinars like this on a weekly basis. So once a week on Tuesday evening, we'll get together and we'll scan the markets together. And then I will pick my favorite trades and say, hey, this is my favorite of the bunch. I'll give you 1 favorite long and 1 favorite short. Lots of times I'll give you 2 favorite longs and 2 favorite shorts if they're available. If you want to be in the live trading room, we'll throw you in there. Some people like it, some people don't. Just depends on their schedule. That's a grand total of $982. Your special offer for today is going to be $297. Now, the bad news is we recently only had 18 people that graduated the course. So last week, 18 people just completed their 4th week. So we only have 18 spots available. I would love to take all of you. I just can't. There's no way that I could take 300 people or 400 people in a class and teach them what they need to be taught and then answer their questions individually. So that's why the number is so low. Okay. So we're only taking 18 from this webinar because 18 people just graduated. If you're interested, you can go to hubertcenters.com/summit. You can also call 859-963-3445. So I'm going to put this in the chat box really quickly. And you can go there and they've already put it in there. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to give you the telephone number here for yourself too. And then I'm going to put this above the chart. And then the rest of the time, I'm going to either answer your questions or look at your stock symbols. Now, here's the thing. You don't get 20 of them. I'm not going to answer 20 stock symbols for one dude. You get 1 per line, and you have to put it in caps so I can read it, okay? So here's my link, hubertcenters.com/summit, 859-963-3445. I think I've got 10, 15 minutes for questions and or symbols. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blow up a daily chart, and I'm going to be your little personalized technical analysis technician right now. If you have any questions on what I just shared with you, ask, or if you just want me to look at your symbol, I will. And I'll tell you like whether I think it's good, bad, or where it's going to go. So AAPL, Apple, good long, next target 140. UAVS, sorry about the cough. Leave it alone. It's sideways. I wouldn't trade it right now. It's sideways. UAVS. Two sideways to trade. SQ. If I skip you, I'm not being a dick. It's just there's a lot of people in here. Square looks good. Next target 200. Man, these are flying. NIO. Wait, no, NIO. Yeah, NIO. NIO. Good long. Next target 25. Oh dear God, I'm gonna miss some. What is the phone number? It's right here. Area code 859-963-345. MSFT, Microsoft, good long, next target 240. XLE. If you have entered it, you're in, and I haven't seen your question, just keep on entering it until I answer it. I never looked at this strategy. Can you set it up on charts on TD Ameritrade? Yes, you can set it up with Thinkorswim. Through TD Ameritrade has an Ichimoku. They have a scanner like TradeStation. It's handled slightly different, but in the course, we walk you through how to set it up with Thinkorswim, which is TOS, and TD Ameritrade. Sorry. INTC. INTC is a short. Next target would be $45. EURUSD is a long. Next target 122. How do you set the target? So I cover that, Calvin. Is it Calvin? KAVIN. In the course. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a risk reward ratio in my head. I'm risking 1 to make 3 to 5 is what I'm doing, but I cover it in detail in the course, how I'm coming up with the targets so quick in my head. SAND. SAND is a new 1-day fresh short with a target of $8. RTX. RTX is ADX is too low. It's 1147. It's sideways. I would stay away from Raytheon right now. It's just sideways. How do you set up the STD on the chart? So for me, I go right click, insert analysis technique, and then I just scroll down here to Ichimoku cloud chart, which is what it's called right here. And then that applies it onto the chart. Every platform is slightly different. Shift setting. Oh, shift setting. You need to go right click, format symbol, and then from there, you're going to go into, what's the box called? You're going to go right click, format window, and then under general, under space to the right, 25 bars. That way you'll get the shift to the right. It's under general. That's how you do it. That's also covered in the class. Where is the stop loss? It depends on every stop loss is going to be different for each individual. So if you want a stop loss, ask for it in your analysis there. MA MasterCard, good long, stop would be 348, target would be 400. WORK, excuse me, is almost a fresh long as of today. So it would be a long. Stop would be 33.75, target would be 38.52. Is the blue line a 50-day moving average? No, the blue line is, where do you see a blue line at? One of us is colorblind, Barry. One of us is colorblind. No, the blue line is not a 50-day M&A. Tesla target, TSLA. Tesla target would be, I'm going to have to get a little creative. I can probably do it, though. 1, 2, 3. Tesla target, 515, 559, 604, and 632. Zoom, bracket trade. I would bracket trade this thing, guys. I would do this right here. I would say long above 477, short below 409. The link is hubertcenters.com/summit, 859-963-3445. We got about 7 to 10 minutes left here. So keep on hammering me with these symbols. Jared is telling me there's only 4 more tickets available, so you better grab one if you want it quick. GME? GME, good looking long, little GameStop. So here you go. It's a perfect little example. 1, 2, 3. You could have been long GameStop at 504, and right now it's trading at 744, right? So this is none of this is hindsight bullshit. We're doing this stuff in real time in front of you, right? I taught you the concept of the theory, which is mainly all BS when it's all theory. But when you start applying this to real time, you can see how this stuff actually works in real life, right? So GameStop is probably going to go to $9. TDOC. ADX is a little low. It is a long. It probably goes to 250. RKT is a little too new to trade for me. I would say if it goes above 30, I would get long. USD CAD. Obviously, the US dollar is going lower. Target would be 125. MSFT, Microsoft, long with a stop of 220, target 260. SHOP, little Shopify, good looking long, next target 1400. Jared's telling me there are only 2 spots available now. HubertCenters.com, 859-963-3445. It's right there, so you don't have to do anything. Just put that in there and you'll be good to go. All right. MYO, penny stock. It's trading sideways. It's just dead money. I would leave it alone. And guys, please don't get mad at me if I just say it's dead money. It's just, I don't trade a lot of penny stocks, but when they're sideways like this, they're a nightmare to trade. So for me, I would just avoid that one. PTON, better looking stock. Peloton, obviously through midst of COVID, this thing's going crazy. Next target 100. Dow Jones at YM, the Dow Jones next target would be 30,000. Gold at GC, next target for gold would be this most recent area of 2018. WPM, kind of sideways. The ADX is a little low. It's a better long than short. Next target 60, but there's better stuff to trade. I would trade gold before I would trade WPM. How do you get the targets on the price? I'm basically rounding in my head, and I'm doing a risk to reward ratio of 1 to 3 or 1 to 5 is what I'm doing in my head. Yeah, SLV is going to be silver. Silver looks a lot like gold. Probably goes to 30 if you want to trade outright silver. You would do at SI. Next target for silver would also be $30. Yep. All right. There are no more seats available, so do not go to hubertcenters.com/summit. And if you are calling our office, please stop. 859-963-345. Don't do it. Stop it. There's no more. No, like if you do it, we'll be selling more tickets than we said we need to, and I don't want to do that. But keep feeding me symbols. I appreciate the 18 people that signed up. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. We'll see. You'll be getting the courses on demand, so you can learn at your own pace. It's only about 3 hours. And then every week, every Tuesday, we'll be meeting and scanning the markets together. So I appreciate you guys. We're sold out at this point. I do appreciate it. Don't try to order. Please don't. But keep feeding me symbols here. I got about 5 to 7 minutes, I think is what I got. Yeah, that's perfect. All right, so RGLD. RGLD is kind of sideways. So here's a little bit more, and I cover this in the course. One thing you want to do when you're looking at this stuff too, when you're scanning, let's go through, PTON. All right, Peloton. So you see this down here, this is called the ADX. And this is one of the things that we teach in the actual course too. You see where the ADX is below 20, like this green line is 20. Anytime the yellow line turns red, it means this thing is sloppy and choppy and in non-trending mode. Anytime you see the bottom line turn red, it means leave me alone. I'm not in a great mood. Now, anytime you see the red line go from red to yellow, it means, okay, now I'm in a trending mode. You can now trade me. So when you're looking at stuff like that, so let's go ETSY, Etsy, it is trending. It's pulling back. If it can close today above 125.26, it would be a decent long with a stop of 116 and a target of 145. If we look at CVNA, all right, it's trending. It's above the cloud. It is respecting the turning line a lot, and it's respecting the standard line a lot. So here's another advanced trade that I cover in the course, one that I like. I call it a little slingshot trade, where it goes, it pulls back from the yellow, touches the purple, then closes back above the yellow. So pulls all the way down to the purple, back above the yellow. That's a slingshot trade, and then it slings your price higher. It works both on the long side and the short side. Okay. So that's a good trade. This one right here is probably going to go to 300. Let me give you a little bit of a target on this thing. See if I can do you a little bit better. Yeah, I would say 248, 286, 325. WMT, Wally World is acting well. It's above the cloud, above the turning standard line. ADX is trending. Next target would be 160. 160. 160. All right, so we're solid there. Let me see here. AMD. AMD is a good long. I'll give you a target on that one too. Let's go 1, 2, 3 here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Next target for AMD would be 96, 109, and 121. AMZM, Amazon looks good. It's above everything. Obviously, strong stock through COVID. Looks really good. Target wise, we'd have to get a little creative with some little fib action here, but we could make it work. Next target, 35.70 and 36.32. TGT. So this would be a bracket trade since you got a gap up situation. It would be a long if you get a trade above 154 or a short below 146. I already did Shopify, but I'll do it again. Decent long. Next target would be 1400. Notice that the ADX is a little low, but it's trying to hook up and go higher. FNV is in the cloud. Therefore, I will not touch it when it's in the cloud. My recommendation would be for you to wait until it either goes above 153 or below 145. So above 153 would be a long, below 145, 147 would be a short. SWBI, decent long, little slingshot trade. Next target would be 2127. GNW is a long with a target of $4. NKE, Nike, next target would be 120. That means that I have hit my time. I'm going to turn this thing over. Ichimoku were developed by old Japanese rice traders, I heard. Is that correct? Always? No, not old Japanese rice traders. It was actually, Ichimoku was developed up by a journalist, believe it or not. And it was his way to figure out like different stuff on the markets in Japan. But it was developed up by a journalist, believe it or not. And it's a real quick way. You can quickly decide by looking at a chart whether something is either up, down, or sideways, and where real-time support and resistance is, what it did in the past, the present, and the future. So like on Nike here, it's telling us this is probably going to go up in the future, right? So yeah. All right, guys, I'm out of time. I want to make sure that I hand it back off to the team so that they stay on time. I appreciate you guys buying the 18 tickets that we made available today. Good luck. Here's my advice going through the show. Take good notes. Ask good questions. Pick 1 or 2 people that you're into. Don't follow all of them because you'll just get too confused. Pick 1 or 2 people that you're into and go, okay, I'm going to try to learn as much as I possibly can from that guy or from that girl. All right. Good luck. Hope it helps. I'll see you guys on the next one.
Oh, Hubert, what a great presentation. Thank you so much for your time and for kicking things off, man. You just killed it. I love you. We've known each other for a number of years, and I've always been impressed with really how simple you keep things. And hey, is it fair to say, I mean, honestly, this is the primary way you trade. That is your favorite indicator. And I get the impression that that's the way you approach the markets day in and day out. Would that be correct?
It's my first way that I scan. So it's my foundational thing that I always scan stuff through. Now I have all kinds of different proprietary stuff that I put it through too, but this is my first step that I filter stuff through to go, hey, is it even worth looking at? So, and it's also, the cool thing about it is it's a free indicator. It's available to everybody. It's on all good platforms. So I really do believe that it can cut 3 to 5 years of learning off of your journey, trying to figure out like, hey, should I even be trading this market right now? So that's the first thing that I think.
That's fantastic. Well, Hubert, once again, thank you so much for your time today. Delighted to have you as always. And folks, you can see here on the screen You know, the special offer that Hubert brought up, it's sold out, the Ichimoku cloud charting services. But I'll tell you what, stay in touch with Hubert. You see his website up there, hubertcenters.com. Check that out. He's got a lot of stuff that's going on. When some seats open up down the road, you might be able to jump on that. But once again, everything that you need for Hubert is right there. And once again, thank you, Hubert, for getting us started. This is the beginning of a 3-day event. We've got so much good activity going up, and you know, it's approaching the top of the hour, and we have our first quiz. And